Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are building a trailer park in The Sims 1. I wanted to build a trailer park for quite a while, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to go about it because I thought I could maybe make lots of small trailers on one lot and have them all kind of squeezed up together, kind of like having lots of Sims living in close quarters. But then I thought it might be nice to have just a handful of trailers on a really large lot to be able to have plenty of space around the trailers and also to potentially expand and build more down the line depending on the Sims that were going to be living on the lot. So I decided to build on the lot that used to be Pet Paradise in Old Town. I believe it's called 70 Elm Street. It's the really large lot right in the middle of the neighborhood map. There are two other large lots in the neighborhood I could have chosen. The one that has MacArthur Square and the other one that has Sim Central Park. But in the neighborhood I was building in, I had already built on both of these lots. So anyway, I bulldozed Pet Paradise and I actually really liked the number of trees that were left behind after the bulldozing. I decided I really wanted to try and incorporate a lot of trees into the lot because I was kind of aiming to have a lot of outdoor space for the Sims living in the trailer park. So most of the trees I did keep. Then I really started to have a bit of a think about who each trailer in the trailer park is going to be for, how I should kind of design things and what I should think about when I'm furnishing. I was definitely inspired by Brandy Broke's trailer in Pleasant View in The Sims 2. I decided to make all of the trailers the exact same dimensions as Brandy's trailer. I mean, I think Brandy's story is really fun to play with. Her character and what she's been through and what she's experienced and how her life might kind of turn out. But also just the size of her house. I always find it like very easy to play in. Probably because it's quite small, but it's sort of got everything you need. But the thing is, of course, in The Sims 1, Sims do get stuck a little bit more easily. So even though it's kind of fun to make quite cozy spaces with lots of objects close together in small rooms, sometimes The Sims 1 doesn't lend itself so well to cluttering up too much. I feel like in The Sims 2, the Sims are like significantly smarter in terms of finding their way around and not getting stuck all the time. So yeah, I was kind of thinking, even though I'm going to use the size of Brandy's house as kind of a template for what I'm going to do in The Sims 1, I'm still going to design and furnish the houses in kind of a Sims 1-ish kind of way, if that makes sense. So the first trailer that I decorated, I feel like probably it would be for a single parent, maybe a single mum, not necessarily a single mum, it could be a single dad, and probably a daughter and one pet, probably a cat, but doesn't have to be a cat. I kind of was going for a very loose color theme of blue, pink, and green with lots of beige kind of spread across all rooms of the house. I wanted there to be a certain plainness to the house, like it's not super flashy, it's not got tons of bright colors, but then I used just a couple of objects that I feel maybe showcase the personality a bit of the Sims who might be living there. In the parents' bedroom, I used the standing lamp that has a kind of almost leopard print effect on the light shade. And it's got kind of like a golden statue that's like twirling itself around the stand itself. I don't know how to describe that light, but it feels like a real statement if you had that in your bedroom or in your living room somewhere. And I also used the giraffe skin patterned door for the bathroom door. I kind of imagined that in the case of this house, maybe that door didn't have any pattern on it originally, but the Sims living there thought that it would be kind of fun to personalize it and maybe paint the door themselves with that design. Then strangely, I really wanted to use the Vacation Island light box wall light for no good reason at all. I just thought it's like a fun kind of keepsake or something, as if like the family living there have been away on vacation and maybe they bought one of those in like a souvenir shop, or maybe, I don't know, they stole one off the side of a building or something like that, and now they're displaying it proudly in their hallway just because why not? I also used the heart-shaped couch for the main sitting area. I mean, it's not really a sitting area, it's just a place in the hallway where you can sit down. There's no TV or cozy armchairs. I think it's fine though. I mean, for entertainment, there's always the computer in the bedroom, and I could imagine the Sims living here spending a lot of time with their cat or dog, if they did have a dog. And I also put a guinea pig cage on a side table in the hallway, as well as a fish tank. So yeah, I feel like this trailer is definitely for animal lovers. So then the second trailer, I really imagined quite a specific backstory for the Sim living here. I really had in mind a single Sim, probably a male Sim, who has spent a lot of time abroad, and they've probably lived abroad and they've come back to now kind of live in the suburbs. I feel like they're probably quite eccentric, which is maybe why some of the decor is a little bit out there and not in a kind of coherent out there sense. I didn't necessarily want this trailer to look kind of pretty and nicely put together. It's more like a mishmash of kind of random furniture that you're kind of thinking, why is this here and why is this all together? I kind of felt like, maybe this is like really overthinking it, but the Sim had gone abroad to probably teach yoga, maybe in Southeast Asia, and they'd kind of fallen in love with the culture and they decided to stay there for quite a long time. And while there, they developed a maybe more like laid back approach to life. They'd started living life kind of at a slower pace and maybe questioning a little bit more what really matters to them in life. The idea of having to have a perfectly plain, stereotypical existence in the American suburbs maybe doesn't appeal to them. But for some reason or another, they've decided to come back and they're trying to kind of like maintain that sense of self that they developed while abroad. I kind of imagined this Sim would be quite an experienced couch surfer and they'd be very at ease meeting a new Sim one day and striking up a conversation, building a connection, and really feeling comfortable with somebody new like quite quickly. So I actually put a couch in the kitchen, which is kind of random, but I felt like that's where the Sim would invite their guests to stay the night, free of charge, of course. And then there's also a bar and a casino right next to the couch. So I kind of feel like the living space in this trailer is really suitable for socializing in groups and kind of just kicking back and having a good time with other Sims. But then I feel like there's also maybe this other side to the Sim who's living here, because they have a tiger rug on the floor in their bedroom. They have a really expensive, fancy TV, a gold statue of a man just wearing his underpants. I also chose to use the modern mission bed, which is quite expensive and really pretty comfortable. It's one of the nicer beds. So I guess it's kind of like if you've just come back from abroad, you've just been teaching yoga, how can you kind of afford all this fancier stuff? It feels like there's some kind of contradiction there almost. Like the furniture is kind of showing some kind of contradiction that exists in the Sims personality, maybe? I don't know. The third trailer I kind of imagine would be for a magical Sim. It's kind of tucked away in the back left corner of the lot. And maybe the neighbors are not necessarily aware that there's a magical Sim living there. Do the neighbors even believe in magic? Do they think that such a thing could be possible? Who knows? The kind of unique thing about this trailer compared to the other three is that there's actually a back door that leads out to a small kind of enclosed backyard space. Initially, I kind of only wanted to put magic items inside the house, like the charm maker, for instance. But I decided I wanted there to be a hole in the ground somewhere so the magic Sim can slip off to Magic Town without anybody knowing, without a hot air balloon having to descend on the lot. And the hole in the ground has to be placed on terrain, I believe, so it just made sense to add a few more magical items around it. So there's this kind of magical area, I guess, at the back of the house. I kept a lot of the trees that were already there. It kind of adds a little bit of maybe privacy to the space. Almost like it's up to the magical Sim to decide how much of their magicness they want to share with their neighbors. I also placed a gnome making bench and a butter churn in the garden, so they are not inherently magic objects and any sim could use them. And I also put some plots down where sims can grow grapes to make nectar, but I didn't put a nectar press in the garden. I feel like maybe I could go back and add that. Or maybe the sim just likes to grow grapes because it sparks joy, not necessarily because they want to turn it into nectar. Then we have the fourth and final trailer, which is on the left hand side at the front of the lot next to the road. I kind of wanted to have one trailer that maybe would be suitable for a larger family. I mean, obviously all of the trailers are the same size and it's possible to fit in kind of as many beds as you want to, but I kind of imagined at least 2 children living here and then either a single parent or 2 parents. I feel like this home is kind of like a vanilla starter home feel. There isn't anything particularly mysterious or even unique about it. The furnishings are kind of quite plain and simple. Of all the trailers, I feel maybe this is the one that's the closest to Brandy Brogue's trailer, like my original kind of inspiration. Even though the floor plan is different, the main bedroom with dark red carpet definitely feels quite similar to Brandy's bedroom. That was definitely intentional. And I wanted to add some kind of outdoor sports activities for the Sims living here, not just because there are kids, but more because it's like group activities for maybe adult Sims and child Sims to do together. So I put a basketball hoop on the little patio area just outside the trailer. And then if you kind of follow the dirt path around behind the trailer, there's a volleyball court there in amongst the trees, so Sims can play out there too. I feel it's maybe a little bit risky to have that basketball hoop there right next to the windows that look into the kitchen and dining area, because somebody could just put a ball through one of those windows really easily. But if this was real life, there'd probably be a sign on that wall saying no ball games or something like that. But I kind of wanted the sense that that basketball hoop belongs to that trailer rather than having it outside more generally on the lot so that everybody can use it. I mean, obviously everybody could use it anyway, but I wanted it to feel like it's part of that family's house. But because the lot is quite large and I'd kind of chosen that on purpose, I definitely wanted there to be lots of outdoor activities and places for Sims to hang out from all of the different trailers. So I put a children's climbing frame just out the back of the first trailer I was decorating, so the one for the single parent and the daughter and the cat. But I didn't really think of that climbing frame as belonging to that family. It's definitely for everyone to use, all children from all of the houses. I also wanted to have an outdoor eating area, so I put a picnic table and a grill. And I think that's a good place to kind of just have neighbors over in general, even Sims that are not living on the lot. So it's almost got that kind of community lot feel while still being a residential lot. I also wanted to have a fish pond just because I think it's a nice sort of outdoor feature, but I kind of wanted to have it surrounded by trees. So it's kind of a serene place of peace and quiet that you can go to and just enjoy being near the pond. I also did put down an actual lake with the water tool, which is kind of just outside the trailer for the magical sim. And this is not really big enough to put an actual pier on there, so it's not a place for fishing or anything like that. It is just to kind of beautify the lot a little bit, and you can kind of sit out on your porch and just observe it. Kind of going along with the whole community get-together feel, I wanted to have a few other fun objects outside. So I did put a firework launcher right in the back corner of the lot, and I placed a few of those blue plastic chairs around so Sims could like sit there and watch. I don't think Sims will actually sit down and watch. I think they'll always stand up when they're observing fireworks, but I just thought it looked kind of cool to have the chairs surrounding it. And then I also put a bonfire out there so Sims can sit around and just hang out and tell stories. I would hope that no stray firework would set fire to any of the trees around there because obviously there are quite a lot of trees. If that ended up being an issue, it might be necessary to delete some of the trees, but it is what it is. Once I had more or less finished decorating all of the trailers and landscaping outside, I did think I kind of want to go and paint each one of the trailers a different color. Not necessarily in super bright colors. It was maybe more about just having a way of distinguishing the trailers from each other. So the yoga teacher, who's returned from Southeast Asia, his trailer is red. The parent and daughter with the cat have a white trailer. The Magic Sims trailer is kind of the dark grey color I was using initially for all of the trailers. I decided to keep that trailer that same color. And then the slightly less eccentric, more plain family trailer at the front of the lot is blue. I think that's everything I wanted to say about this lot. There's a link in the description where you can download it if you want to add it to your game. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet subscribed, and I will see you in the next one.